What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Fearless Nick YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over my round 5 2022 AFL tips. Seem to be the only thing I do on this channel these days, but I promise you, there'll be more different content coming in the future. I promise you that. Just when I get around, because I've been quite busy during the holidays. Basically not doing anything. But anyway, going to go over my round 5 2022 AFL tips in today's video. But obviously before we do that, got to review my round 4 tips, and not surprisingly, this didn't go very well. But anyway, hope you enjoy the video. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Welcome if you're new. Remember to subscribe, because we're trying to get to 250 and ultimately 300 by hopefully the end of the year or the end of the footy season, between there. If you could chuck a subscribe if you're new, and if you like the video, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, hope you enjoy. Like I said before, remember to like, share, subscribe. And yeah, without any further ado, let's get stuck into it! So like we do every week on these tipping videos, we're going to review my round 4 tips and see how we went. Looking back over them right now, I just got them up on screen. I got 4 out of the 9 this week. So once again, very, very bad. Very bad for me. I think this was a very tough round to do, though, in fairness. I think this was a bit of a tough round. Port Adelaide v Melbourne. The D's got up by 32 points. Not really surprising. That was not a very good game to watch at all. The Power went goalless for a half, which was quite funny. But anyway, the D's way too strong there. I was only just off on the margin. I tipped 27 points. It was 32 points. Wasn't far off. Didn't do too bad though. But I'm pretty sure most of us would have tipped Melbourne, so would have got that one right. Anyway, got that one right. We moved down here to the next game, Geelong v Brisbane. I tipped Brisbane in this one. I thought they would, continue their good form, but fair play to the Cats. GMHBA Stadium is a very hard stadium to play at, and I think, the Cats just went about their business there. Anyway, got that one wrong. The start of many. Next game, this game was very surprising. Sydney v North Melbourne. The Swans got up by 11 points. This was really, really surprising to see North Melbourne, come out with that intensity after getting belted by Brisbane last week by 108 points, I think, or something like that. North came out with a lot of intensity in this game. The Swans, I think, were just better. I think their class was just a little bit above. I think the Swans may have slightly dropped off since the Bulldogs game, but nonetheless, got the job done. That's what the good sides do. Collingwood v West Coast. Tipped Collingwood, probably the upset of the round. West Coast beating Collingwood at Marvel Stadium by 13 points. It was fairly even for most of the match, but in the last quarter, West Coast just took over, and that's the second week in a row Collingwood have essentially led at 3/4 time and lost. So, not good signs there from Collingwood. But anyways, got that one wrong. I think most of us would have got that one wrong though. Next game, MCG. Now this hurts so much. Richmond Bulldogs. I tipped them to lose to GWS in round 2. They won. I tipped them to beat St Kilda in round 3. They lost. And I tipped against them in this one. I thought the Bulldogs would just do their business, but the Bulldogs were so inaccurate in front of goal. And I got another Richmond tip incorrect. Can you believe it? I cannot tip the Tigers this year. But great win for the Tigers though. This is definitely their best win of the year. So he's got that one wrong as well. Next up, I got the next 2 right, by the way. Spoiler alert. Fremantle, GWS. Tip Fremantle. I was a bit 50-50 on this one. I was like, should I change to the Giants? But no, the Dockers came through for me. I got to back myself in, and I did. Well done. Well done to the Dockers for responding like that. They're now in the top 4, I believe. After that, Anyways, got that one right. Next game, this was I didn't watch this game, but apparently it was an absolute thriller, and looking at it, it probably was the case. Essendon and Adelaide, what a game that was. Essendon, probably slightly the better side, as Druzy pointed out, probably the better side over Adelaide. Adelaide, fair play to them. I'm not sure whether it was because Taylor Walker was back in the side or not, but anyways, the Crows came back big time from Essendon, but Essendon nonetheless get their first win of the year, and yeah, got that one correct as well. And then I got the last two incorrect. I tipped Hawthorn to beat St Kilda in this next match. The Saints absolutely destroyed them. Absolutely destroyed them. Yeah, the Saints way too good. The Saints may have to reevaluate where they are this year. But anyway, got that one wrong as well. And the last game of the round, very surprising as well. The Gold Coast Suns upsetting Carlton. Carlton losing their first game of the year. And the Gold Coast Suns easily their best win of the year so far this season. Although, then again, Gold Coast are pretty good at the start of the year and then fade away late. But, you know, you can't help but take your hat off to Gold Coast. That was very well played. But anyways, those were my tips. Ultimately got 4 out of the 9 this week. Pretty disappointing, if I'm going to be entirely honest. But anyway, those were my round 4 tips. Now let's move on to the round 5 tips. Alrighties, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, round 5. So get on Thursday night. It's on the 14th of April, 7:35 at the Gabba. We have got the Brisbane Lions taking on Collingwood. Look, the Lions were okay against the Cats. They weren't ideal, but they were okay. They weren't at their worst. They were okay. Collingwood, on the other hand, probably could have played a lot better. Their loss to West Coast last week really doesn't make them look too flash, if I'm going to be honest. Look, at the Gabba, the Lions absolutely thrashed the Pies last year. Look, I'm probably going to have to tip Brisbane in this one. I think I'm going to tip the Lions by 24 points. I think the Lions probably the stronger side. I did tip them to finish first this year. Brisbane, and look, they're not doing too bad, I don't think, but they're like, yeah, they're not doing too bad, Brisbane. They're 3-1. They are second on the ladder due to percentage. But yeah, I'm going to tip the Lions to win this one. I think Collingwood, they've hit a road bump, I think, Collingwood, but I'm not writing them off yet. I still think they could get a few more wins down the track. And yeah, I feel like the Lions will be too good, though, in that one. Next up, now, if some of you may remember, it was a pretty bad video, but I went to this game last year, North Melbourne taking on the Bulldogs. I vlogged it. It was a very, very interesting game. The Bulldogs won by 128 points last time these two teams played this time last year. Not last time they played. But yeah, I think a similar result may happen. I think North will show a lot more fight in this game than what they did last year. But I'm still going to tip the Dogs, I think, because I feel like the Dogs, I know they did lose to Richmond last week. I don't think they're going, it could be a sign of the grand final, maybe it scarred them or anything. I don't think it has, though. I think the Dogs have had a couple of bad shots at goal, and I think that's cost them games ultimately, especially last week. I'm going to tip the Dogs, though. I feel like they will be strong. I feel like North could certainly challenge them, but I'm going to tip the Dogs in that one. Next up at Optus Stadium, we've got West Coast taking on the Sydney Swans. Look, if you'd asked me this game last week, I would have fought the Swans easily. But considering the way West Coast played last week against Collingwood, I'm almost reconsidering my choice here. I do think the Swans will be too good, but I wouldn't be surprised if West Coast beat Sydney here. Don't get me wrong, I think Sydney are a really good side, but at Optus Stadium, with some of their players coming back from COVID and, getting fitter and all that, I feel like West Coast could cause an upset here. But I am going to go the Swans. I think the Swans will be too good. Don't be surprised, though, if West Coast upset the Swans here. This has upset potential, let me tell you. But I'm going to tip the Swans in that one by around 17 points. I think they will be too good. They're not playing their best footy, the Swans, after that loss to the Bulldogs, it's fair to say. But I think they will get there in the end. Next up, we've got... We've got St Kilda up against Gold Coast. St Kilda last week probably looked one of the hottest teams last week. Absolutely thrashing Hawthorn last week by 69 points. Gold Coast as well looked really, really good against Carlton. But not taking anything away from Gold Coast, but Carlton did have some injuries, such as Paddy Cripps. So I'm not trying to disrespect them or anything. That was a great win, no matter what. I'm going to tip the Saints, though. If it's at Marvel, you back the Saints in. The way they're playing is too good. It's just unbelievable, the Saints last week. I did not see it coming. I was a bit surprised that people were tipping the Saints last week, but looking at them now, I'm not fully there that the Saints are going to make it yet, because like we saw last year, they are a bit hot and cold. But is this the year the Saints? Anyway, I'm gonna tip them to beat Gold Coast here. I think the Saints will get it done, especially at Marvel. Next up, now Richmond. Obviously, as I said, I can't tip Richmond right to save my life this year. This Adelaide and Richmond, this has upset potential. The rematch of the 2017 Grand Final, this has upset potential, let me tell you. Richmond, depending on what Richmond team shows up, this could be a massive chance for an upset. Considering the way Adelaide played last week, almost stealing victory off Essendon. I don't want to tip against Richmond, though. I'm going to tip Richmond to win, but if Adelaide win, I will not be surprised. And yeah, you cannot rule off the Crows. The way they played against Essendon, they've got every chance to win this game, especially at the Adelaide Oval. They seem to play a lot better there. But I'm going to tip the Tigers in this one by around 12 points. I think they will be too good. I think it will be an arm wrestle, but I think I'm predicting the Tigers to outrun them in the end. Next up, at the MCG on Saturday at 7:25, we've got the D's taking on the Giants. The D's, as of last week, are now the only undefeated team this season, much like last year. Look, the D's probably almost the flag favourites at the moment. I think Brisbane will probably up there as well, but I think Melbourne have now cemented themselves as a flag favourite now. Look, probably could have won by more against Port Adelaide, if I'm going to be entirely honest. The Giants didn't look too great against the Dockers. However, this time last year, the Giants were one of the only teams to beat Melbourne last year, and that was this very game, but it was a bit later in the year. Look, the 1% I think is a bit harsh, even though the Giants did play pretty bad. I'm not sure. I don't think Toby Green's back yet. I think he's a week away or something. So I am going to tip the D's because Toby Green was the difference last time they played. So I'm going to tip the D's, especially at the MCG. The D's shouldn't have a problem if the Giants don't turn it on. But if they do turn it on, it could be an absolute arm wrestle. But I'm going to tip the D's by around 16. I think they will be too good here. Next up, the first of the Sunday games, we've got the Blues taking on the Power at the MCG at 1:40 in the afternoon. Look, the Blues last week didn't look too flash. I mean, I know Cripps was out, I know Pitney was out, I know McGovern was out, all those guys, but I feel like the Blues could actually could have played better, even though with those players out. And Port Adelaide, well, where are they at the moment? Yeah, they're last. They deserve to be last, Port Adelaide. Look, if if I was a Port Adelaide fan, if they don't win this, I think they're screwed. I think it's season over if they don't win this, Port Adelaide, because 0-5, it's pretty much impossible. If you go 0-6, it is impossible to make top 4, I believe. I think that's just a rumour anyway. But if they go 0-6, well, they're 0-5 after this game. But if they go 0-6 next week, I don't know who they've got next week. But if they go 0-6, they can't make top 4. Look, at the G, I'm expecting the Blues to bounce back. I feel like Port Adelaide, with no Cripps for Carlton, I think Port Adelaide could be on maybe, but I think the Blues will be too good. I expect Michael Voss will give him a bit of an uplifting. Even without Cripps, I think the Blues will be too strong. I think it will be close though. I think it'll be 7 points. If they had a full strength list, the Blues, they'd probably tip them by about 30 because I think they are a way better side than Port Adelaide at the moment. I'm tipping the Blues in that one. Next up at Marvel Stadium on Sunday as well. Second last game of the round, we got the Bombers taking on Fremantle at Marvel Stadium. The Bombers, for me, were the better side against Adelaide, I think. I think it's safe to say they were the better side. I couldn't believe my eyes when it was only 3 points or whatever. I couldn't believe it. I didn't think, oh man, I'm gonna look real dumb here because I tipped Essendon to finish 5th, and they're not playing like a top 5 side at the moment, the Bombers. But step by step, I think the Bombers, they are still a young side, so I wouldn't get off them yet. Fremantle looked solid against GWS. The goal kicking still needs a little bit of work, but it was a little bit better last week, to be fair. At Marvel Stadium though, the Dockers don't play well at Marvel Stadium. I mean, I think they only won one game there last year, and that was to Collingwood. So look, the Bombers probably come in favourites, although this is a 50-50 game, I think, pretty much. I'm actually tempted to tip Fremantle, but I feel like Essendon could win this. Nah, screw it. I haven't tipped an upset this round, so I'm going to tip Fremantle. I'm going to tip the Dockers to beat the Bombers here. I think I haven't got an upset, so there we are. Upset of the week, Fremantle over Essendon. I feel like the Dockers, at their best, could probably match Essendon. But Essendon at their best could also match Fremantle. This is a coin flip though. This is an absolute coin flip. I'm not sold on either side yet, to be fair. But I'm going to tip the Dockers in this one. I don't know. I just get a feeling because I feel like there's always an upset or two, and we saw that last week. So I'm going to tip the Dockers in this one. The Dockers, I've only got one. I don't know if I've got a Dockers tip wrong, and you could have to watch back to see, but I don't think I've got a Dockers tip wrong. I know I've tipped them right the last couple of weeks. I don't know, definitely last week. But anyway, I'm going to tip the Dockers to win that one. And the final game of the round on Easter Monday, we have got the Hawks up against the Cats. Wow, the Hawks didn't look too flash against the Saints. They looked a bit slow. They started well, but they were pretty good ultimately. The Saints, they were just way too good. But anyway, the Cats, it was an arm wrestle between them and the Lions, but the Cats found a way. Ultimately their forward line was just too good for the Lions defence, such as Jeremy Cameron, who looks like one of the best forwards in the comp currently. 91% have gone the way of the Cats here. I understand why. The Hawks didn't look too flash. But if they could get that rebound back, that second half against the Blues, if they could play like that, I reckon they're definitely up for the challenge here because of their very good defence, although they are up against a very good forward line. Let's be honest. If Tom Stewart plays for the Cats, it's an easy Geelong win. If he doesn't, it's probably almost a 50-50. To be safe, though, I'm going to tip the Cats. To be safe. I haven't tipped the Cats this year, I don't think. So, I think it's about time. I'm not Nothing against Hawthorn. I think they could bounce back in this one, but I'm going to tip the Cats to win there. I think they will be too strong. They only just won this game last year, but I feel like the Cats, with the amount of experience they have, it's hard not to back them in against a very inexperienced side in the Hawks. But this will be a very good game. I'm looking forward to this one. So those are my tips for round 5. Let's go over them again. We've got Geelong over Hawthorn, Fremantle is my upset of the round, Carlton over Port Adelaide, Melbourne over GWS, Richmond over Adelaide, hopefully, St Kilda over Gold Coast, Sydney over West Coast, Bulldogs over North Melbourne, and Brisbane over Collingwood. Actually, I'm going to change this margin. If Brisbane win, it'll be a lot bigger than that. So I'm going to say Brisbane by 35 points. I'm changing my margin. So there we are. Brisbane by 35 over Collingwood. So there we go, guys. That is my round 5 tips for this upcoming round, Easter round. Comment down below your tips. Comment down below your predictions, your thoughts. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 250 and 300 subs. Hopefully by the end of the year or the end of the footy season, in between there. Join my tipping comp, link down below in the description. You know the drill. The code will be down there as well. So yeah, join that if you you like what I do. You know, I just thought it'd be something fun to do for that. Subscribe if you're new, share with a mate, like the video if you enjoyed. Yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!